Good morning, my name is Spencer Downey, and my snake oil project that I decided to do today is based on a reproductive hormone called lutalyse, otherwise known as dineprostromethamine. While introducing lutalyse, it can be safe to say that the sterile solution is the most recommended prostaglandin used in livestock reproduction today. Veterinarians and producers are more prone to using lutalyse because it gives them more flexibility and options in estrous synchronization by lysis of the corpus luteum during the luteal phase of the cycle. It has been known to improve breeding, and it is the only prostaglandin allowed with the administration of the CEDAR, which is a controlled internal drug release mechanism. And lutalyse is one of the most popular prostaglandins used around the world because it is completely natural and it has the highest pregnancy rates. Using lutalyse versus other products guarantees you to reduce the time needed for heat detection in your cattle, reduce labor costs, and cut overall cull rates. So how lutalyse works, since it's a prostaglandin, when it's injected into the bloodstream, it helps speed up the natural process of luteolysis, and it increases levels in the uterus and the blood to achieve the natural process of luteolysis a lot more quickly. Because it targets the uterus, it does that because prostaglandin is generally secreted by the endometrial wall, thus traveling up to the uterine horn and lysing the CL. When you administer lutalyse with a CEDAR, you put it in the cow for roughly 7 days. This will inhibit the GnRH release and production of the hypothalamus, thus lowering the FSH and LH levels, lowering the amounts of estrogen to make the cow think that she is pregnant. When the corpus luteum forms, because she goes into this luteal phase, once you remove the CEDAR, you're supposed to inject her immediately with lutalyse. And within 1 to 2 days, the cow will come back into estrus because the CL has been lysed officially. So luteolysis is basically when progesterone levels are very high in the bloodstream. Because of that, it gives a negative feedback of GnRH from the hypothalamus, and it slows down and stops the production of FSH and LH, thus suppressing estrogen. But when luteolysis occurs via natural prostaglandin, progesterone dramatically decreases and causes regression of the CL. It's also known as programmed cell death. And then when the CL is gone, there then becomes a positive feedback that is sent from the uterine glands to the hypothalamus, thus increasing GnRH, increasing follicular stimulating hormone, and LH, and then increasing estrogen, thus leading to ovulation, and then the cow will be in heat, ready to breed. And then after she comes into heat, then all of the follicular cells on the follicle start turning into luteal cells, and then the phase will continue. So I have a couple of diagrams here. This first one is just a very basic overview of the estrous cycle, and it shows the different levels of different hormones, such as the surges in LH just at the start of estrus, the elevated estrogen levels that accompany that, and then it also shows the progesterone levels throughout the cycle of the cow, and how it starts to decrease at luteolysis, and then the follicular phase will start again, and then estrus will again ensue, resulting from a surge in LH again and increased estrogen levels. And for administration, for non-lactating dairy heifers, for example, you'll need to inject a dose of 5 milliliters intramuscularly, either once or twice in a 10 to 12 day interval. It needs to be noted that you're not supposed to inject it subcutaneously. That can lead to many health problems as opposed to intramuscularly, because a lot of respiratory arrest can occur. It's not the best thing, which is why intramuscular is the way to go. An influence of the progesterone or the prostaglandin injections at different days of the cycle is a really interesting graph. It can be seen that if you inject prostaglandin, say lutalyse, anywhere from day 1 to 6 of the cycle, so say the cow had just started estrous and she's in heat, and you give her an injection of, say, lutalyse, it's not going to have any effect because there's no active corpus luteum in her system. So there's no target for the lutalyse to attack in lice, and you're wasting your money. You need to inject lutalyse into the cow anywhere from day 6 to 17, because after roughly day 6 or 7, that's when the corpus hemorrhagicum from the ovary actually transforms into a corpus luteum, and then the corpus luteum is what produces all of the progesterone, thus giving a target for the lutalyse to attack. From there, it will be lysed, and then within 1 to 2 days, the cycle will restart, and then she'll induce an ovulation again because of the dramatic decrease of prostaglandin, increase of estrogen, leading to ovulation. So the cost for lutalyse, it's very inexpensive. I found many sources that were comparing it around $3, $3.17 per dose. It is generally sold in vials of 30 milliliters, which has about 5 administrations, or 5 injections, or 100 milliliters with about 20. And again, it's injected intramuscularly. It's a very cost-effective product. It's not very expensive. It's been shown to be very effective not only by many experiments, but throughout the years of livestock production. It's the most trusted reproductive hormone administered. So in conclusion, it is safe to say that lutalyse is in fact science. It's not snake oil. There are just way too many facts, and it's very common knowledge, very mainstream, that it's the most effective prostaglandin administered to livestock. So estrous synchronization. And that's it. So if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them via email. Thanks.